Y'all knows before yes. Now you got royalty that filed a temporary protection order against CJ So Cool. So now he's going to be unable to post videos of her or the kids, which I really think when he went completely left was on that Snapchat. That's why I got deleted because there was pictures of royalty from her OF or her passes account, and I think that was like the last straw. And I really believe too it came from that guy, that married man that she's dealing with. That's why the whole $6,000 a month came about with the kids, with child support, and all the other nonsense. But like I said, he has his part to play in it. He can do a plethora of different videos in regards to so many different things that has nothing to do with royalty and the kids. But let's get right into the video.
A protective order against CJ. Now, this means that CJ is unable to mention Royalty's name on any platform, including YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Snapchat, which was deleted, but he's
And you know why that was deleted, like I said before in a previous video. He posted or reposted somebody's post, or somebody sent him pictures of royalties OF or passes account and some of the photos that she has on there, and he put it on his Snapchat. I think that was a time when it just crossed the line, and the married man that she's dealing with, he pulled a business move. And I really think he want a piece of that $6,000 a month if they do get it granted of the child support, because she wasn't doing this prior before meeting that guy. But what I'm gonna say is CJ had his hand to play in the overall situation because he had, so many opportunities to deviate from doing those things, to, poking the bear. Don't get me wrong, they did bring an allegation against you. It could have ruined your life, but guess what? If God deliver you from something, be thankful, move on, create different things and aspects on your channel in which you have the opportunity to do so. It's all up to your creativity and what your mental prowess will allow. But if you allow yourself to be stagnant, like I always talk about one thing. A lot of us don't realize when you're dealing with demons of stagnation, delay, setbacks. You got to speak against those things. You got to rebuke those type of things. And a lot of us remain in a loop based off our trauma. So it goes, vice versa, as above, so below, yin and yang. As within, so without. You gotta be able to move on. And don't get me wrong, I know he considered them his family, and he has major love. Let me tell you something. Hate is the opposite of love. But you know what that is? You can't hate something unless you loved it once. I'm gonna say that again. You can't hate something unless you loved it once. See, you can dislike someone that you don't know. Usually can dislike people who you see in passing. But usually if you have a sibling that did you wrong, the first thing you'll say, I hate them. You know why? Because it's literally the opposite of love, but it's on the same line. That's why it says a thin line between what? Love and hate. But he just has to get over that hump. Yes, that was your family. If you genuinely wanted them to stick around, sometimes I think people make crazy ass decisions. You kick them out, but then you beg for them. You talk about them. You need them. Same thing with royalty. She leaves, get with random people that do not have her best interests at heart. But then all the while, you're bringing them allegations against CJ. You're talking about them on different radio podcasts. You're da 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 meeting up with Tata. It's like they both do the same shit. They both are messed up. They need help. Both of them do.
still cannot go make a new Snapchat and mention Royalty in any form after he was served with this protection letter. It's also being stated that he's ordered to remove all the videos that he has posted of Royalty and her children off of his YouTube. Now, you guys know those videos go back to 8 years ago, and the majority of his videos are including Royalty and her children.
Now, all I'm gonna say is this. I don't know how, adequate or, or how official that is going to be in terms of having those videos deleted, especially due to the fact that CJ orchestrated and basically directed, those videos in terms of the pranks, the ideas, was with his camera. I think maybe the videos that he's, slandering them or, coming off nefarious, very disrespectful. Those are the videos I think, they might order him to take down. But all the previous videos in the past that have been on the channel for years, I doubt that would be the case to take those down. But even if it is, I don't think he's gonna continue make. I mean, those videos so old, you probably don't even make money from 'em anymore. They probably got millions of views, but all that money that came from those videos, you're not gonna be. Ain't nobody rewatching those videos and they're getting millions of top of millions or even 10,000 views on that. It's like it's not happening. But like I said, man, you make your bed, you lay in it. Both individuals had chances to, amend and render this situation and make it better. But people want to be messy and be bitter and cause confusion. That's what happens when it's a bundle of confusion.
So you guys leave your opinions below, but let's
But let me just go back to but when you got a bundle of confusion, we got things like this going on in life when it's unfinished business. I really think they should have just had to sit down and talk. I remember that time the royalty came over to the house when he was staying in the house where he got shot at, and she wanted to have like a conversation about the girls that come over his house, and he was didn't really want to speak on that, and and all the other bullshit. They should have just really had a therapist come and speak to everyone as a collective, as a family before they disband. So you don't leave nothing on the table. Usually people that have unfinished business, feelings on the table about, a situation involving children and everyone else, it's going to leave a sting behind. And you're going to always revert back to that same point in which you are unable to get over. And you see adults go through this every day in life where people stay in a loop from which they trauma began. If it started at 13, they may grow older and have more responsibilities, but they still have that same 13-year-old mindset if you get to the meat of it, into the thick of it. That's what happens. So people have to learn. And I think this is, maybe this is a good thing for me when it comes down to both individuals. You need to just get over it and get on with your life. Everybody does. Cut that person off. Make videos what you need to make videos about. If you can't grow your audience that way, do something else. There's so many other things you can do to revamp. Shit, if life ain't over yet, your ass ain't over. That's what people need to do. Try to, come up with a whole different, you know, theme for your channel. Same thing with royalty. They just need to separate in regards and do better parenting, do better co-parenting. Maybe this is an eye opener. Now, in regards to trying to get full custody for him, is a hell no. I don't think that's good at all. I think that's crazy as hell. I think she need to definitely keep it co-parenting. The $6,000 a month, I thought she didn't want $6,000 from a person who allegedly did something like that to her daughter. That's stupid as hell. Same thing with CJ. If somebody, let me tell you something, somebody mentions something like that and try to ruin you and destroy you, I don't want to hear their fucking name no more. I don't wanna fucking hear it. You bring that name up around me, Imma say, "You gotta get gone." I don't wanna hear that person anymore. I don't wanna hear about them. I'm moving on in my life. I have my kids. I have a good situation. We gonna make content. We gonna have fun. We gonna go to this places. We gonna be doing all different type of collabs. Imma make sure that I speak and reach out to other YouTubers that got kids, and Imma try to do things like that. I'm not finna be stuck in a fucking cycle because that's what demons do. They keep you forever in the same fucking routine, unable to see the light because they're gonna keep you in darkness and blind. That's why you gotta let the dead bury the dead. If they don't want to come up to the living, let them remain in the dead. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the situation. I think, hey, it's a good thing, even though it's temporary. I think it's only like 2 months, but still, I think this is a good chance for CJ to, really focus on doing something completely different on his channel and stop using the same tactics and move on. If you don't want to be on YouTube, you really don't want to be a person that grinds anymore, then get the fuck off YouTube. But if you want to have an audience, you want to build, your subscribers up. Again, you want to have the people watching your videos, then come out with different type of content that's completely different than anything you ever did on the channel. I mean, it has to be so goddamn far left that people can't even recognize it. That's what it needs to do. And Royalty, just, at the end of the day, she ain't even a YouTuber. And she needs to do better with the kids and just making sure that they don't go down a path of destruction. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'm up. About it.